So joining me on the show now, we've got Mitch from When We Were Wolves. How you doing?
Woo! Yeah, good. Thanks, you.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Um, yeah, I've only recently discovered you guys. You've only just recently come back. Um, what's changed? Obviously, it's been a few years since you guys were playing together. What's changed for you you all to get back together and go, yeah, this is the right time for us to be back?
Um, most of our members, to be honest. It's only so it come about. I bumped into our original guitarist Ben, um, at the show. He was in his other band at the time, and then yeah, we were just having a beer, and we were like, "Oh, I miss doing heavy music," because I'm in a pop punk band. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, should we like just get together and write?" And we were like, "Yeah," and no expectation. We didn't even like have the conversation about bringing Wolves back, and then yeah, we started writing, and we were like, "This is cool." So we wrote for about a year, me and Ben, and then we recruited Jay, our guitarist, and Chris, our drummer. And yeah, it's better than ever.
So, people that haven't heard you before, they're just recently discovering you. How would you describe When We Were Wolves?
We get branded as like post-hardcore. A lot of our stuff, especially like our newer stuff that we're going to be releasing, um, it's very, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's very like, Bad Omens, Architects, very, the heavy bits are heavy. We've got the big sung choruses. Um, so yeah, I would say if you're into those sort of bands, but I think like metalcore or uh post-hardcore is what we get labeled as quite a lot.
Yeah, I think the metalcore thing, especially with the single "Hate Yourself," it's quite
Yeah.
interesting that you said about being in a pop punk band. 'Cause obviously, there's quite a lot of and like real big sing along choruses with the pop punk, which I kind of got with "Hate Yourself." It's got that real melody to it.
Yeah, it's weird because that out of all the stuff we've written, we've got loads of new stuff. Um, that is the one that doesn't sound like all the rest of it. Um, there's a bit of a risk. Our Mariana manager, she really didn't want us to release that one first. But we were just like, you know what? I'm kind of hoping anybody that like knew of us before is going to have the sort of reaction to it. We were kind of hoping people were going to be like, oh, they've gone soft, or which no doubt some people will say that. You know what it's like when a band does something different, everyone's like, oh, they've sold out. Um, but then the next song we're releasing is like really heavy. Um, so yeah, there's a good variety.
Yeah. I also love the idea of selling out. I was like, yeah, if someone was to give me like £12 million, I'll
Do you
sing.
know what? That's it. Like, I think that, there might be a couple of people that'll hear it and be like, oh, I mean, there's like friends who heard it and would say like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, which was like their nice way of maybe saying, oh, we wanted something heavy, but like I said, that's like sort of the standalone track. I suppose it would have maybe made sense to release it somewhere down the line, but we're like, let's just let's just get out there and just see what people think. And who knows, we might end up going more towards that route somewhere down the line. It's just however we're feeling at the time, really. So
I also like the fact that it is a bit different because I've been this afternoon. I've just been checking you guys out, listening to the older EPs and things like that. And yeah, they are certainly heavier. But I like the fact because if you are going to come back after such a long time, you don't really want to come back with just the exact same song, if that makes sense. You're like, oh, because
yeah,
it's not really this is now nice big talking point. Oh, it's a bit different. Well, what's going on here? Then it's a more interesting way
yeah,
coming back, I think.
that's it. And we could, there were so many songs we could have picked where there was one in particular, and we will release it as a single at some point, but there was one in particular, and it was out of that one and Hate Yourself. And I just feel like if we release the other one, it'd have been the safe option. Like, oh, let's just do what people are expecting. And so I, to be honest, it's gone down quite well. I was hoping we were going to get a bit of hate from it, to be honest, and people be like, uh, I haven't seen, nobody said that. Everyone's been like, oh yeah, and especially people like, because we were never like a massive band, but you know, we were sort of small enough where you would know the same people that would come to shows. And there's this one dude, and he was like used to come to all our gigs, like absolutely loved it. And when I see him comment, it sort of popped up on my phone. I was thinking, ooh, what's he gonna say? And yeah, he was like, oh, love it. Like so, yeah, it didn't go down as I expected, to be honest. In a good way.
Well, if you want some hate, we could start some now. Like, that's
Yeah, yeah,
let's just talk about that terrible single "Hate Yourself."
yeah. No, it's gone well. It's nice. It's not, I think we were itching to get music out as well. Like we've got so much stuff, and it's easy for like so. although no one else has heard it, certain songs, once you've written them, they can seem like old songs. And sometimes good songs get kind of pushed to the back burner because you're bored of them as a band. And I feel like this could have been one of those. Maybe the longer we left it, I think the less keen we would have been. Like, oh, it doesn't sound like anything we've done. And so I'm glad it's just, it's out there now.
So you said obviously you were in another band as well, and Ben's in another band as well. So was that what you were doing? So you've still been in music this whole time, just not with when we were Wolves.
Yeah, um so for me and Ben, yeah, Ben's in another band. I think they oh, I don't know, I should say that, but there's still a thing at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to be. But yeah, I was in Wolves sort of come to an end because we had quite a lot of lineup changes, and I think because we were touring a lot, people couldn't commit, um, and then I joined another band for a little while, and that didn't work out. And then yeah, I started my pop punk band Jaws of Life with my friend Reese, who I lived with through lockdown. So yeah, sort of been doing that, and then never really thought about going back into heavy music. And I think it was just having that moment with Ben. There was no expectation. We were just like, let's just get together and just write some tunes. Like, we just missed it, and then I think we sort of sat back after a couple of weeks and were like, some of this is really good. Like, and we were like, yeah, let's just go for it. So yeah, it's nice.
So what's the driving force behind Hate Yourself? And if you, like you said, it's not the sort of sound that people were expecting. So what kind of drove that writing process for that track?
Do you know what? It was just ironically, I think we wrote that. I think it was one Ben because me, Ben, and Jay, we all write because I can play guitar as well. Um, and so it's quite good because you can normally, you know, you'll hear like Jay will have a particular type of way of writing, and Ben has a particular type of way of writing, and so do I. And I think "Hate Yourself" was one of Ben's. I'm pretty sure I was, setting up the session, and he was sat there. And I think he was playing the lead line. I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And he was like, "Oh, just something I've been working on." And I was like, "Cool, let's track it." And I think we did it in like an hour. But we just have a rule of, I think, because we all listen to different things and we all have different styles. I think we just have the rule of, I don't ever want to have the conversation of, oh, that's not us. I mean, if we've written it, then it's us. I mean, it might not sound like everything else we've done, but as long as all four of us have written it, you know. So I think we just try have that rule. So, and it keeps it interesting then as well.
Yeah, certainly. Especially, so you said like, obviously you all listen to different sort of things. So what's like your sort of main go-to? If you were to go, oh, I want to listen to something, what's your main, who you putting on?
That's a tough one. I mean, looking at my phone, do you know what? Ironically, I'm back into listening to really heavy stuff at the moment. Like Slaughter to Prevail is like the last thing I
Okay,
had
yeah.
on. Um, but do you know what? Like I've gone back into like David Bowie. Um, been listening to a lot of David Bowie, Whitney Houston. Like I think, especially being a vocalist, I like sort of, you know, big vocalists, like or unique vocalists. I think I listen to a lot of stuff like that. Um, but yeah, like literally anything.
Yeah.
Like I like a lot of pop stuff, like mainstream pop stuff. As long as it's got something, as long as you get that feeling when you listen to it. Um, but I think the rest of the boys, like our guitarist Jay, is just typical loves while she sleeps, and so that comes out a lot in his writing as well.
I mean, that's a good band, but David Bowie is, by far one of the greatest songwriters and singers that we've ever had. He's just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, so yeah, it's nice to mix it. It can get a bit boring sometimes. I think, especially if it's like in my other band. If if I played a load of shows doing pop punk, the last thing I want to listen to is pop punk. So I tend to, I'll probably listen to less heavy stuff now. Wolves is going again, because I'll probably be, need a bit of a change from stuff. So
So just when you're playing with pop punk, listening to sort of Prevail, and when you're in playing heavy stuff, listening to Blink.
yeah, yeah, literally that.
I like the juxtaposition. It's nice.
Uh,
So um, what's like your ideal sort of vision for Wolves and like where you want to take the band?
I mean, obviously every band would love to get to an arena level. I've got um friends, or it's like one of our, I haven't spoken to him in a little while, but um somebody who used to play guitar for us, he's now in a band, and I think they've just done Wembley the other day with Fight Star. He's in a band called Loathe. So it's like really inspiring to see, you know, people who went back when we were going ages ago, people who were sort of at that level and now seeing how what they're doing and how it is possible. So I think yeah, just take it as big as we can, really. I mean, if we had the option to go on tour for 6, 8 months tomorrow, like I know I'd be saying yes. So just do it as much as we can. That's literally it.
Yeah, I know you. I read somewhere that you originally supported like Barry Tomorrow stuff when you were first going. I love those
Yeah.
guys. They're from Southampton, so I've been following them since I was like about 18.
It's crazy, isn't it, to see like the the last Wolves show we did was with While She Sleeps, um, in a venue called the Globe in Cardiff. So to see them going from sort of playing those size venues to then headlining Ali Pali, like it's crazy. Like well deserved, but it's just so inspiring seeing all these bands that, you know, when I was getting into music, like watching them in these sort of smallish venues, then mid-sized venues, and to see it grow. It's like Architects touring with Metallica, like that is crazy in like the best way. Like it's so cool to see like heavy music. I think a lot of people, say it's shunned, but I think now is an amazing time for heavy music. You only got to look at bands like Bring Me winning Brit Awards, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I always said that because I always hate when people say guitar music is dead. It's never
Oh,
been, it's never dead. It's never going to die. I don't think it can because there's always going to be a selection of people that love it and support it, no matter what scale it's
exactly.
on.
Well, look at like I don't know, again, Bleed from Within. They're one of my favorite bands. Absolutely love them. And I watch them. I've seen them in really small venues, but then I see them supporting Megadeth, and it's like, they're like such a heavy band, and then they're playing like Brixton Academy sized venues. It's like you can't say metal's dead. Like look at it, especially when you've got bands like that, like just being so consistent as well.
They're supporting Slipknot as well at the end of the year because I've seen
Yeah,
them on the self-title tour.
that's yeah, that's crazy. We met them. I met a couple of them. They definitely wouldn't remember me. But they're Scottish, and we did a tour with a Blackout. And when we were in Scotland, they were on a night out in the same place as us. And I remember chatting to the vocalist. I think his name's Scott. And yeah, they just, when people just come across as just like really normal, like they just seem like real normal dudes, which again makes you like a band more, I think.
Yeah.
So
Sport, especially as well, like Sleep Token. In the last few years, they've gone from nothing to they sold out what the O2 in like 10 minutes or something stupid. It's insane.
but it's crazy. It's like the guitarist in that band, he used to be in another band that we play with, and it's just crazy to sort of like think you're playing Wembley Arena. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember playing to like 10 people with you. Like it's crazy. But again, in the best way, like it's so
Oh
nice
yeah.
to see when so many people, succeed in, especially from Wales as well. Like there's so much talent. And there's loads of new bands coming up again, which will be, hopefully the next wave of those bands that just seem to explode and, go on to do amazing things.
As I say, Wales has always seemed to have quite a consistent run of alternative music coming out of Wales. Like, going back all the years, there never seems to be like a drought. There's always at least one or two bands coming out like, yes, love these guys, he's really cool. Which is
And there's a
quite
lot,
nice.
obviously a lot coming back now. You've got the Blackout, they're back, Kids in Glass Houses, and you've got Bullet doing that tour with Trivia. And like, yeah, it's awesome. It's nice to see more gigs coming to Cardiff as well. Um, especially like Slipknot. Are they doing Cardiff on that tour? Yeah, they got to be. They never miss Cardiff. But yeah, no, it is. There's loads of good Welsh bands about at the moment.
Who's maybe someone that we may not have heard of then who you think, yeah, we really should be checking these guys out?
Ooh, Welsh bands. Trying to think. A lot of the bands we've played with recently are English. There's a band called Nightlives. They've been about for a little while. Very like Enter Shikari. Like if you
Okay.
like Enter Shikari, you'll love them. Like yeah, Nightlives are good, and they've been solidly round for a while now. So I feel like they're sort of due, you know, something big. But they're cool. They do sort of all like the theatrics. Like their videos are always really theatrical, and they've got that kind of like show element rather than just a bunch of guys that play in a band. They put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, I'd say they're one to check out, definitely.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, especially in Shikari because they're one of my favorite bands. So that's definitely something
Oh,
to.
you love these guys. Like so they're so and like it's not like a bad thing. Like I hate when people think, I've had it in my pop punk band where people be like, "Oh, you sound just like Blink-182," and it's like, why is that an insult? Like, I mean, like, yes, thank you so much. So yeah, like I know some people take it the wrong way, but if you like Enter Shikari, you'll definitely love Nightlives. Like
Yeah,
they sound very similar.
because I always find it weird because when you like, you have to describe a band to someone, you do kind of go, oh, they're a little bit like this, a little bit like that, and a little bit. I don't see it as a bad thing, especially when like, oh yeah, they sound a
No,
little bit like Biffy with a bit of Muse, I was like, that would be a nice thing to be compared to
yeah,
like, it's being compared to Blink. Oh yeah, compare me to one of the biggest pop punk bands of all time. Yeah, I'll take that.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And again, unless you're trying to, you know, reinvent the wheel or do something completely different, I suppose everyone's just doing their own spin on things. It's like Slaughter to Prevail. I mean, obviously his vocals are absolutely insane, isn't it? That's what really sells that band. But they've got the image to go with it, and it's nothing new. They're just doing their spin on it, and they do it so well. And I think that's just again, that's my biggest gripe is when people start saying about bands selling out or oh, it's generic. It's like everything's been done. So I mean, Sleep Token. The whole masked band thing has been done so many times, but they've done it in such a way with their social media. The whole worship thing and all the members just being numbers. Again, it's been done.
Yeah,
Slipknot, obviously, everybody goes to, but it's still super cool. They've done their own spin on it, and people absolutely love it. So again, I see it online, they get so much hate, and it's like, I mean, they sold out Wembley in, however many minutes is, I'm sure you're in the minority, and I'm sure they don't care, but everyone's a keyboard warrior online, aren't they? So
yeah, I know. I do hate it because it's like you said, like why knock someone for no reason at all? If you don't like them, fair enough. Don't like them, just move on. There's somebody else
yeah,
who does like them.
yeah, it's a load of. I've seen a few people. Is it Busted that are playing Download this year? Um,
Yeah.
and a couple of people whinging about that, and it's like that's a good thing about Download. There's probably four other bands on at the exact same time, so go watch them, or just go have a beer.
Oh yeah, because I was just there was so much hate when that came out. I was like thinking, A, there is like you said, like another four different bands playing at the same time, so just don't go see them. Like when people moan
Yeah,
about the headliner, I was like, there's other stages that have got headliners. Just or people are like
yeah,
it's not heavy enough. Have you looked at the second stage? There's some pretty heavy bands there. They're just
yeah,
not on the main stage this year.
yeah. Most years at Download, I've never been at uh, the main stage for headliners. Yeah, I hate it when people. Do you know what? Even if like there's a couple of bands I want to see, like I think it was the year Kiss headlined, and there wasn't many bands I wanted to see. I think Kiss were the one, and a few others. But I still had a great time. Like even if you're not watching bands, do you know what I mean? It's just the experience. So I think people just need to stop whinging and be thankful that we have such massive festivals and things like that going on in our part of the world.
Especially download. I love download. I went to download for 10 years straight and then I ran out of money. But but like download is the experience. It's what like 150,000 odd just like metalers in a field. It's just a little
It's
mecca.
great, isn't it? It's the atmosphere as well. I always say, like, if ever I come across someone that hasn't done download, I'm just like, oh, like I've never seen any trouble at download. Everyone is just there for the same reason. Everyone gets on. Whereas I've done Reading one year to watch because Metallica were headlining, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did download. There was a bit of a different vibe. Whereas like download's very much a metal festival, and everyone's just really accepting. So yeah, I think we're super lucky to have stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm the same. I've done Reading a couple of times and the vibe is a bit different. I think because it's a slightly different audience. So then when you go to download, like yeah, I feel more at home at download.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
It's always a strong one. So what is coming up for you guys this year? This is the big single. Hate Yourself is out now. People can listen to it, stream it. So is the plan to release a couple more tracks, get some more interest going, then maybe start doing some more live shows?
Yeah, so we got a tour in May. And I'm gonna mention the dates because Marianne will absolutely kill me. But we're going on tour the 9th of May to the 11th, and then the 15th to the 18th with a band called Crushed by Waves.
Oh, they're good. I like Cross My Ways.
Yeah, they're sick, aren't they?
Yeah.
I met them through my other band. Um, and then yeah, our manager Marianne, obviously when Wool started working with her, she manages Crushed by Waves. So they're doing their album tour. So we're doing that with them. And then I think we're doing another tour later in the year. Hasn't been announced yet. Um, and then yeah, just live shows. We've got a couple of like one-offs that we're going to be doing throughout the year. And then um, we've got a we've got at least another three singles we'd love to get out by the end of the year. I think that's probably what we're going to do going forward is just drop singles for the time being because I don't know, I mean I'm the type of person that will listen to a full album, but I know in this day and age, realistically, people don't. So I think at the moment the mindset is I think we're just gonna just keep releasing singles as much as we can. You know, we do a lot of it ourselves. We record ourselves and send off for like mix and mastering. So it gives us a little bit more freedom rather than having to be like, right, we need these dates to be in the studio. And so, but yeah, lots of new music.
With that Cross by Waves tour, where's the closest to Southampton?
I think we are playing Southampton
That's
actually.
even better.
Yeah, I think hang on, because I should know this off by heart. Um I can't even there we go. So yes, so we're doing so on the 9th, so London, Hope and Anchor, Nottingham, Manchester, Exeter, Reading, Southampton, The Hobbit.
Oh, I did the Hobbit.
Well, do you
Nice.
know what? I was actually randomly, I was in Southampton 2 weekends ago, on a night out, and The Hobbit was the only place we went because I didn't realize it was a thing. You can't get in anywhere without ID
Yeah.
because they scan it, don't they? So I didn't have any ID because I never carry any. And The Hobbit, I had a photo of it and they accepted that, but nowhere else would. So we just ended up in there. But yeah, it was wicked. Like what a venue.
I mean, it's a maze when you go inside. It's just like a door, and then it's literally stepping into Narnia. It's just there's some stairs down to a massive courtyard.
Yeah, I kept going through there was like a gig going on, and I kept walking into the smoking area, and I'd walk back in the wrong door, and I'd just be like, "Am I in the same place?" Like it was definitely going there sober. But yeah, we're playing The Hobbit on that tour, because it's us, Crushed by Waves, us, and then on that leg of the tour, it's a band called Within Reach. Um, so yeah, Southampton, The Hobbit on. So I'm rubbish at plugging stuff on the 17th of May. So buy your tickets from downforlifemusic.co.uk.
17th of May. Nice. I'll have to check my diary. I want to see. That'd be cool. So, yeah, I really like Cross My Waves, and I've been liking listening to you guys this afternoon. So that's a win-win. And at the Hobbit, which is just a quality little. It's just an amazing little space.
Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah, I know. I don't drink really on tour, but I'll normally have one night where I can, and I think that'll be the night because I love The Hobbit. Those drinks they do in there, so sick.
It's great. Right. That's amazing. So yeah, looking forward to some more new music from you guys. And then yeah, really looking forward to that tour with Crushed by Waves hitting the Hobbit, which will be awesome. 17th of May. So yeah, thank you very much, Mitch, and we'll also see you. Well, we'll see
All
you in
right.
Southampton very soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, dude.